Me and my friend after we found a pornographic magazine in the woods in 1989.
And the page timer? Oh yeah, because I finished looking at that page.
Lovely.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Nice colours.
What I hear when my wife tells me all about her day at work. And this is me when Jehovah's Witnesses visit my house.
I won't let you in. Ha, ha, ha.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So today we're going to continue a little theme I've been doing, one house versus another. We had Dior versus Chanel, and Dior won. Then I did Dior versus Guerlain. Guerlain won. And so the game is I pick a combined top 5 from 2 fragrance houses. One house gets 3 places in the list, one house gets 2, and the one with the 3 places wins. It's a silly game and quite pointless. But what do you think about that? Let me know. Before we do that, don't forget there is still an amazing bundle deal on at nortonandwilson.com, link in the description there, for all 4 of our fantastic compositions from perfumer John Stephen for just $380. Bon Vivant currently out of stock, in the UK, but you can get the other 3 for a similarly wonderful deal in the UK. Check it out, guys. Don't miss out. Okay, let's do it then. So Guerlain versus Dior. I pick a combined top 5. Both very interesting houses, both French houses. Now, Guerlain has a little bit more of a undoubted place in French culture and history. Creed's place in it a little bit more debated by some people. Some people don't like the history of Creed and their perhaps slightly overblown claims for their historical roots and stuff like that. Used to be passed down from father and son since 1761, and the brand then has been sold to BlackRock a few years ago, big corporation or conglomerate or whatever it is, and then another, I can't remember who, but somebody else has bought it up now, so it's no longer passed down from father to son. But I believe Olivier and Erwin Creed, the 2 family members that are the most prominent in the brand history recently, are still involved, but I don't know. Okay, Guerlain, different. I don't know who. Does someone else own Guerlain? Probably. I don't know. I'm not the biggest expert on that stuff. Okay, so last time we picked Habit Rouge from Guerlain, a wonderful fragrance indeed. I'll talk about it more in a second. We picked L'Instant de Guerlain, and we picked Eau de Guerlain from 1974, and they got 3 places in my 5 fragrance list, beating out Dior. This time we're going to pick at least 2 Creeds, but will we pick 3 Creeds or 3 Guerlains? And who will win? Isn't it exciting? Let's find out. So last time we picked L'Instant de Guerlain. This is the Eau de Toilette. A nice citrus opening. Did my flower fall out there? A nice citrus opening. A little bit of grapefruit in there. It's got a lovely twist of anise in the mid and a powdery combination with cacao, a subtle hint of chocolate in there too. So semi-gourmandish, but beautifully delicate and fresh and just very, very exquisite. So L'Instant de Guerlain, I really, really like that one. Affordably available, magical stuff. Now we'll pick a Creed. I'm going to include Green Irish Tweed, not the most original choice. It's one of the big talked about ones. 1985 release, perfumer Pierre Bourdon. It's fantastic. Lemon verbena. I think there's bergamot, I assume so. A fresh, grassy, citrusy opening, but more grassy than citrusy. Green, verdant. It has a beautiful bit of violet leaf in there and a wonderful, some people say a hint of peppermint, but I don't know. You could almost hint, I kind of get a minty, subtle undertone in there. And this ingredient called dihydromercenol, which is a fantastic aroma chemical and was utilised wonderfully here by Pierre Bourdon, the perfumer, back in 1985. He recreated this on a cheaper level with the Davidoff's Cool Water, which was released in 1988, but this has exquisite ingredients, really this dapper, gentlemanly, aristocratic country gentleman type vibe, wonderful for the spring, fresh, bright, incredibly high quality, very sharp, really arrests the nostrils, but in a great way. I love Green Irish Tweed, fantastic juice, still great in the modern formula, which I have here today. Some people may dispute that it used to be better, but whatever. Okay, so moving on with another Guerlain, I'm going to keep in the list then for sure, Habit Rouge. So the Eau de Toilette from this one, 1965 release, wonderful citrus again in the opening, a beautiful twist of rose there in the heart of the fragrance, and this undertone of a powdery air with a little bit of a semi-vanillic undertone provided by the benzoin accord, and this bitter greenness in there as well. Really, really beautifully combined then, the rose with the green bitterness, just a perfect equilibrium between freshness, bitterness and sweetness. It's so brilliantly done. It's a unique smell. You have to try it. It's so hard to describe it properly, but it is a very powdery fragrance, and if you don't like those, you may not like it. You may find it old-fashioned. I think it's still magical and wonderful in the modern formula. Check out Habit Rouge, very reasonably priced. Of course, Creed, much more expensive than these Guerlains, which are sort of well under £100, and the Creed's well over £200 each for them. So bear that in mind, but I'm just doing it purely on the smell. I, of course, then have to include at least one more Creed, and it's got to be Bois de Portugal, my personal favourite from the house there, 1987 release, wonderful bergamot with sandalwood, vetiver, and it has lavender in there and ambergris, a semi-barbershop-ish air. Frank Sinatra wore it, that gives you an idea. Less bright and fresh than Green Irish Tweed, there is a freshness in there, and a little bit more rich and woody. Wonderfully gentlemanly again. Now, you could wear this in the spring and summer and this in the autumn and winter if you like, but do what you like. It's not up for... I don't tell you what to do. I really, really like Bois de Portugal. I think it's still great in the modern formula. It has changed a little bit, but not hugely for the worse. Wonderful performance for me. Very old-fashioned, a little bit stuffy smelling. You may not care for that. I think it's magical juice. So it's definitely going in the list for me. So I've done 2 from each house. There's 1 place left only. So I could keep in the list Eau de Guerlain, which got the win there for Guerlain last time over Dior. It is a wonderful citrus aromatic from 1974. But I'm going to shock the world. Creed's going to beat Guerlain. I'm going to annoy a lot of people. I'm going to go for... I would actually, for my top 3 from Creed, and I do prefer it just slightly maybe to Eau de Guerlain as of how I'm feeling today. Erolfa, 1992 release. Beautiful, fresh, crisp, citrus aromatic fragrance. Very, very bright indeed. Has this kind of ozonic sea air thing in there with some herbal aromatic tones. Kind of smells almost Italian to me. It reminds me a little bit of an Acqua di Parma style fragrance, but it's even better than most Acqua di Parmas I can even think of, although I do like that house too. Absolutely wonderful, bright, energizing, fresh, kind of a Creed take on the traditional Eau de Cologne style fragrance, like a 4711 or a Neroli Portofino type fragrance, or Eau de Cologne de Guerlain maybe, or even Chanel Eau de Cologne. But Creed have their own sort of twist on that with Neroli Sauvage. This has a bit more to it, and with that sea air thing, it's like the best aquatic fragrance ever. Forget Acqua di Gio, that smells rather artificial. This smells so natural. It's really, really brilliant. The quality of the ingredients at Creed, I do think, is rather special. You may disagree, but I believe they really are wonderfully crafted fragrances for the most part, and yes, they are expensive. So Creed wins over Guerlain based on just me picking 3 against 2 today. It's a bit of a silly game, I admit it. Now, if you actually want me to rate the 2 houses overall for their entire range and value for money and the history and what the brand means, I'd probably have a slightly greater affection for Guerlain, actually. I have to admit that. It has more legitimacy as a historic French part of French culture, really, for the bourgeoisie of France, or the middle classes as well. It is a brilliant, tasteful, classy brand. You can buy some very affordable ones. There are some higher end, niche priced ones too. Such class in all their compositions, and a little less of the BS hype and stuff that you get with Creed. But business is business, and the Creed has been very successful. This is a little bit nouveau riche. Guerlain is old money. So if I really had to say, which house overall do I really love the most? I like both. I think they both do great stuff. Guerlain probably should win. But on my silly game, Creed wins. What do you think? Who should we put Creed up against next? Let me know what you think about this pathetic concept of mine. Completely pointless, but it's a fun game to play. Creed triumphs with Erolfa, Green Irish Tweed, and the wonderful Bois de Portugal. Let me know what you think about that. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, or even if you haven't. Maybe the next video will be better. It could hardly be any worse. Remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. And although life really sometimes can stink, at least we can always smell good. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.